Hi everyone, welcome back. Looking at cubics, only you're looking at the most basic case of a cubic. And the most basic case is when we're just talking about y equal x cubed. And you can put numbers and find out what that is now. Most people watching the video have already done that. I want to look at a couple of things about that before we do anything with it. That point there is the most important point we got. And I always talk about, there it is, me being having fun. We talk about, there it is, that's the most important point. By the way, in a moment, I'm going, there it is. So people don't know what that point is. It's actually called a point of inflection. Now, what does it mean by point inflection? I don't want the video to become too long, so I need to keep it short. If you look at this one, if I put my hand there, it's like there's a curve is facing upwards. It's like a part of a mirror that's facing upwards. So this side, often we put little arrows on it to say, look, that's going upwards if you're doing science or anything. The cave is facing upwards. This one here, the curve is facing downwards. So there's a special point in real life, not because of maths or maths teachers, where we want the point when the curve stops facing downwards and faces upwards. So if you look at this one, it's facing downwards, it's curved downwards, curved downwards. By the way, in the middle there, it's in between. And then the cave starts facing upwards. So you don't have to be great at your maths, but it's just the concepts of what's going on. Cave is facing downwards, cave facing upwards. So for a lot of history, people have tried to figure out where is that point. I often laugh about it. If I put a pin there and I grab that and I spun it around in circles, by the time I got down to the bottom, it's back to itself again. Or I can go around again, I go around again. So it's actually, we talk about, that's the point of rotational symmetry. That's not the issue. So all that was about that. But before I go further, I always like to talk about when people look at a cubic, unless it said 2 or 3 or 4, look at these 3 points here. So you've got one in the middle, you go across one and up one, you go across one and down one, it almost looks like a straight line. But the moment you put in 2, so if x was 2, we got 2 cubed, which is 8. So I've got this upper point really important up here, 5, 6, 7, 8. So just put that in the back of your brains when you're doing cubics later on. Now the big part, we're talking about translations. So what happened to that point, the important point? So it'd be hard to talk about that point or that point. Maybe you could do that point. But we're talking about the important one. And the important one is the point in the middle. So the point in the middle here becomes the point in the middle there. And now we look at it, if I go different colour pens, you go, how far did I go across? I went across that far, and then I went up that far. Now it's not about rise over the run and grading and everything. It's about how far did I go across. I can count the boxes. 1 box, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I've gone across 8. Video's getting too long, and I've gone up 5. So what happens when we're doing translations and we want to go across 8 and up 5? Really simple stuff. First of all, I'm just going to say this to you. If I had plus 8, what does it do to anything? So if I had plus 8 on me, I'd be 8 centimetres taller. So I could probably do that. I'm 8 centimetres taller. So if I was a cubic, I'm 8 centimetres taller cubic. So that's really obvious. He's the one that mucks everyone's brain up. Now maybe I'm going to write that there as a bracket. I'm going to put the x in. And here's the stupid part in maths on this topic. If I want to go right 8, you've got to put a minus 8. But I see it over here, up 5. Oh, up 8. Why did I say up 8 for? So up 5, I just put plus 5. So anything that's not on the inside of a bracket that's written by itself does what we expect. So if I add 5 to it, I expect it to go up 5. If I add 15 to it, I expect it to go up 15. And what do we call that? That's translate, or simply move up 5. So outsides do what we expect. If you watch my other videos, you'll see a lot of that. Insides do the opposite. So this is not going to move left 8, it's going to move right 8. So we can say it translates right by 8. Or we can just say move right 8. I still think one day in our Year 12 exams here, they're going to nag about you must say translate. But at the moment, they don't know of, we're accepting move. So what happened to the graph? It moved 8 right and it moved up 5. So if I did this one, and I made that, say, let's make it different numbers. Say minus 3 and plus 45. Make it a bit weird. Goes up 45. Or if I did this as well, the video's gotten too long, sorry about that guys. Minus 45, gone down 45, moved right 3. Not left 3, right 3. Thanks for watching, hopefully that helps. See you in the future.